How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Patch Notes. As you can see, I now have a camera. So I will now be joining Robert and Miguel. As you were able to see
Hey,
my face the whole time, that means this whole time I'm going to be doing the most random stuff behind the
the Harlem
just behind the
Shake.
camera. But now everything I do will be seen. And with that being said, I will actually be your host this week. And for this week, let's just say we're going to do a little bit of a throwback to a previous episode. Um,
Oh,
If you guys remember, I was on episode 2 or 3, which I also
uh-huh.
led. I put these guys up against certain survival situations. Well, now we might revisit those, but we're gonna make a Mount Rushmore, maybe a little bit of a draft to see what is your dream team for surviving in such places, with a little bit of a
Oh,
twist.
okay.
Oh,
All right. So first things first, like always, who wants to start us off? Tell us a little bit about how this week was, what happened, what you guys did.
You want to start this one off, Robert?
nah, bro. My list is lengthy, so I think you should go.
I'll go first. I'll go first. No, it's been actually a pretty chill week. To be honest, just working capstone project. I found myself a little bit of downtime, like about 2 hours to 3 hours after like the end of each day. So, like Serge, who's been doing a lot of like book reading, I'm not much of a reader. So, what I have been doing is I've been listening to a lot of music. So I'll typically when I'm like working there in the office, I'll have like music on my headphones and stuff. But I thought it'd be cool if I started ranking it. So I whipped up an Excel spreadsheet. I know Robin and Serge know that I love Excel. I love making formulas and stuff. It got pretty intense in terms of formulas. It's pretty much the whole spreadsheet's automated. But the albums I've been listening to have been a lot of hip hop rap albums. So I've listened to
Nice.
Kendrick, Drake, some J. Cole, some Kanye, and a little bit of Nas. So it's been a couple albums, but like I said, it's usually 2 hours each day. It's been good. Yeah, I I'm going against some of the biases that I had. I'm not the biggest Drake fan, but he actually has two of the highest, or a couple of the highest like ranked albums so far that I've listened to. So it's been nice. It's been a pleasure to do. But other than that, just been chilling, um, just enjoying life. It's been good.
Nice. Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
So then, anything else?
Let's see, sports. Well, as we're recording this, the Pacers are playing the OKC Thunder. It's game two. I just checked the score and the Thunder are whooping on the Pacers.
Word.
But
What is
it's
the score?
Let's see.
last I saw they were up like 20 points, which is kind of to be expected. I think OKC is the better team overall.
Yeah. So right
I
now, OKC has 102 points and
Yeah,
Pacers have 82.
yeah. So I just think the OKC is way more explosive. They're just better top down, or top to bottom, I should say. But yeah, I just think the Pacers are scrappy. They've been fighting tooth and nail against every team they've gone up against. So I think their luck's gonna run out. Even though it'd be nice to see Indiana win, but I actually don't think the Thunder or the Pacers have ever won a title.
Okay.
So I mean, it's gonna be a new champion regardless. Both are like small franchises or small market teams,
Nice.
so it'll be good. I think so. Uh, and I'm not sure if it'll be one of Robert's talking points, but I know today Portugal beat Spain uh, in their final game or in the
Yeah,
finals.
baby.
It was a good
CR7
game.
all the way.
Yeah, yeah. We were actually going to record the podcast a little bit earlier, but we decided to watch the game.
I know,
so,
right?
so
We
we were
had to.
watching
I had to.
I'm not much of a soccer fan, but it was a really good game. I thought Spain was going to pull away just because they had a really good game against France in the
They did,
semifinals.
dude. They shit on France. I don't know
Yeah,
how. I don't know
well,
how.
yeah, they were up like
Just
5-1 at one
yeah.
point.
Like I don't know
Yeah,
how France let Spain dog them like that.
yeah. So it was interesting. It's fun when I can like dive into sports real quick, even though I'm not the biggest soccer fan. But it was cool. It was cool
No,
to
yeah, it
watch.
was a good game, definitely. Freaking Ronaldo scored. He scored in the semifinal, and he scored again in the final. It's just impressive to see a 40-year-old soccer player
Mhm.
doing what he's doing. Like there's nobody else doing it like he is right now. Serge, I know you want to say something. I can see it in your face. Um, Also,
Which throw?
Lamine Yamal got shut down by Nuno Mendes, best left back in the world probably right now. He's not doing it like all of these other left backs. So I don't know. Well deserved for Portugal, just to say the least. The fucking penalty shootouts, bro. I was shitting bricks, bro.
Dude, yeah, they were intense. Yeah,
I was just hoping and praying that one of the Spanish players either missed or their penalty got blocked, and luckily one of them got blocked.
I think even because I think the fourth one is where he missed it, the fourth shooter.
Yeah,
That sounds
the
weird to say that. I'm not sure if that's the grammatically correct way to
no,
say it,
yeah,
or
yeah.
politically correct way.
Penalty
But
shooter. Or-
I think the third penalty shooter for Spain also almost got blocked.
Yeah,
Like
dude.
it barely went by his hands. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that was
he
crazy.
just he got it up high enough where the goalie barely like got his fingertips on it.
Yeah, but I was seeing that that Yamal player is like 18 years old or
No,
something
no,
like that.
he's 17. Like he's a phenomenal player at 17 years old. I mean, he's already doing big stuff for himself and like his
Hmm.
club. He's at Barcelona. He's an
Mm,
amazing player, I think. But
just
this
not his type.
game, no, I mean, but he still has a long career ahead of him. But I just think defensively, Portugal had him in check this match, so he couldn't really do anything. He didn't pose a huge threat this game. So
Cool.
yeah, but other than that, I do have other few talking points. I don't know if you guys have seen like the Yeti Bigfoot TikTok vlogs
I don't think so.
on AI, dude. So like recently, I think this past week or the week before, on TikTok, I've been getting a bunch of AI videos, but it's of like Yetis and Sasquatch doing vlogs, dude.
What?
Yeah, so it's
That's pretty funny.
freaking weird. And I don't know,
So
I
kind of
just
like they're
wonder.
like out in nature, just like their daily life.
Vibing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the day in the life. So it's freaking hilarious. It's entertaining and like I don't know. It's so bad that it's good. That's how the best I can explain it. But before that, did you guys see that freaking the Outdoor Boys is they're not gonna make no more YouTube videos?
Hmm.
I know we had talked about them too when we were doing our survival
Mm.
thing, and that's like one of
Yeah.
the one of
I discovered them and immediately found out it. So quite the journey.
you were too late, Serge. Too late to the
Yeah.
party.
Oh, yeah. No. He is such a good like. I guess you can say his style would be kind of like vlogging, just because he kind of walks you through the camping experience.
Yeah.
But just the amount of work this guy would do, like just to get like good quality shots, was insane.
Dude, I know. I don't think I'd be able to put in the amount of effort that he did inside of his videos.
Yeah, no. So I get why he did it. He wanted to spend more time with his kiddos and kind of push them to be uh more, I guess, influencer types, like kind of do their own YouTube thing. But it's gonna be sad to see him go, because that's like the perfect ASMR, like right
Dude,
before
I
going
know.
to
It's
bed.
perfect. Exactly. Perfect to go ending the day, just watching something to relax, bro. Put you to sleep. I want to miss my
Mhm.
boy. Um, but what else? Oh, Sergio, I don't know if you've ever updated like the podcast on you watching Paradise. I don't think you ever told us if you finished it or not. And I was just
Oh, I
thinking
did.
about that
I
recently.
did.
What were your thoughts?
Could have been better. I feel like the first couple of 2, 3 episodes, I feel like it was really building up to be something like something like really well written to the point where you're like this, like a lot of thought and effort went into it.
Uh-huh.
But then it went kind of tropish, or I felt like the storylines got kind of cheap. Like it felt like I don't know if like the writers got switched or something, but
I
I felt
see.
like all of a sudden I feel like they went with the easier routes or the more predictable routes, and I'm like, this could have been like a top tier episode. But like I said, it kind of went tropish. It kind of took like the easy outs, and I was like, it just ended up being all right.
Mm. I see what you mean.
Mm.
Have you seen it yet, Mikey, or no?
No, haven't.
I mean, I would recommend it. Like, it's a good watch, but I mean, if you're like Serge that consumes so much media, bro, he's got very different things to say.
I mean, I might recommend it if you like that kind of like. Well, I don't even want to say because it's like spoilers if I say anything.
Right.
Mhm.
Mm.
What else? Okay, so I've been having this debate with my wife the past week about lucid dreaming. I don't know if you guys had lucid dream before, but like she doesn't believe in lucid
Uh,
dreaming, that it's a
Honestly, I see
thing.
where she's coming from.
Okay,
just
dude, so
just because
like
I've never experienced it, but I
okay.
think that the way people talk about it the people who have mentioned it, they wouldn't lie about something like that. So
It's because her like the thing that she says is that if you're having a lucid dream, then you're not asleep because you're just making up like scenarios in your head type thing. But then I also
mm,
found out, I don't know if you guys have heard of the term aphantasia.
mm,
So I think, let me see. I don't know if you
Mm.
have it or if you don't, but it's basically if like I tell you guys to both close your eyes and like imagine an apple, like you physically see the apple there.
Did you say Fantasia?
Aphantasia.
Because Fantasia is a Berserk reference. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
It's all my manga readers out there.
Isn't that also like a
of
Disney
Disney.
thing?
Mhm.
Yeah. So aphantasia is a cognitive condition where a person cannot voluntarily create visual mental images.
I've
So
heard of that.
my
Yeah, how some people
yeah.
can't do that. It sounds
So I
crazy.
can't do that. I can't do that. So
Really?
yeah, so I know what an apple looks like, but if I close my eyes, I physically cannot see the apple.
Wow.
So my wife doesn't have aphantasia, so I think that's why she doesn't lucid dream, if that makes
Mm.
sense, because she was already like able to visually, mentally see things. I don't
Mm.
know. But I also found out that like people who draw also lack aphantasia. That's why they're such good drawers and can draw whatever they're seeing visually, if that makes sense.
Oh wow. I
I
know
mean, I
that one of the therapists I works with has that. I didn't know the name, but she had mentioned that like for her, like studying anatomy, it was hard for her to visualize like nerves and bones and stuff. Like people be like, "Oh, think about like your left part of your body," and it's like I can't. I just she was unable to kind of visualize that.
Yeah, bro, that's
Yeah.
me.
Wow.
and then I guess to like the lucid dream part. I feel like I have had it a couple of times where I'm. It's usually towards the end of the dream
Yeah,
where I realize that, and then usually something will cause me to wake up. I guess maybe me being aware that I'm dreaming for so long makes me wake up
I see what you
or
mean.
something. But I feel like the few maybe like I can count them like on the both of my hands the amount of times this happened. But each time it happens, it's towards the end, and then I wake up right
Do
like
you,
shortly after.
do you have like certain triggers in your dreams that you realize that you know you're dreaming?
One of them is when I realize I'm having a dream that I've had before. It's like a continuation of a
Mm,
dream I've had before.
Mm. But that.
interesting.
Hmm.
For mine, it's usually like I'm running and then I start to jump, sort of like that scene in The Incredible Hulk where he's barely like
Flies.
jumping. Yeah, yeah.
Like jumping across the desert.
Exactly. That's like one of my triggers. I start jumping really high and I'm like, oh, I'm dreaming. And then I start taking control of my dream.
Wow.
Hmm.
You can
Let's see
start
what
running
else.
your dream like a GTA lobby.
Honestly, dude.
Cars can
Um,
fly.
what else? This pat on Friday I went to go see Ballerina. Came out part of the John Wick series. I think it takes place in between John Wick 3 and 4. It's a really good movie in my opinion. But if you're somebody that's not like used to the John Wick movies, then I don't think it's for you. Just because, well, I mean, this is not a spoiler, but the John Wick movies don't typically have a lot of dialogue in them. It's
Mm.
mostly just like action. So like this one is like that, but still a really good movie.
That's with Ana de Armas, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it has her, Daryl from The Walking Dead.
Mm.
Pretty good.
Yeah. And also the Sydney Sweeney Dr. Squatch bathwater scented thing went on
Uh,
sale on Friday too.
Oh,
were you able to
they,
were you able to cop some?
I was 50 minutes too late. I cannot. Hey man, but she's catching a fat bag.
For sure, I can imagine.
it's five
Um,
thousand bars of soap, right? She
yeah,
was
there was
doing.
5,000 bars.
That's hilarious.
I wonder how long it took for it to sell out.
Oh, probably like a couple hours.
Also, like, did she like soak in the water for like an hour, or just like go in, go out like a? You know what I mean, like,
Just like she
what are
just
the
dipped her
optics
toes.
on this bath
That's
water?
what I
Yeah.
want to know. I want to know specifically
Mm.
like what did
Yeah,
she
that's true. Like, what
physically.
if she just dipped like a finger in there? I don't know if that's really what people are expecting.
I don't know. But
It's funny.
other than that though, I think those were all like my main talking points that I had.
Okay.
Um oh wait, one more. Okay. So if you made like when you're cooking, if somebody helped you prep the food, are they the ones that technically made the food, or is it like the cook that made the food? If you know what I mean. Because like I always have that with my wife. Like my wife will prepare, like say like the meats, and then I'll be the one on the grill to like cook it. Like who should take credit for
It's whoever
making
does the
the food?
cooking.
Yeah.
So the actual
Yeah.
okay, perfect.
Because like if you could think of it like a kitchen, maybe it's like there's a title called prep cook, but there's not like a cook. There's not a grill cook. There probably is names or like technicalities. But you know
Yeah.
what I mean? There's like specifically people that are like prep cooks, stuff like that,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like prep stations.
I see what you mean. Okay.
Mm.
I would say she
And
prepared. No, well, no, because even then, no, you cooked it. She prepared it.
on, now you can give more credit if she was involved. Like let's say she made like a marinade, or it's like, you know what I mean? Like really like an intensive
Uh-huh.
process. You know what I mean?
I see. I see.
Or if it's more you just putting stuff together and it's everything's like already kind of prepped, ready to go.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
How have you been enjoying the Blackstone?
Good. What did I make last time? I made some tortas de milanesa.
Ooh.
Bro, it was so good. And then we went to go get some lemonade. I got a mango lemonade from like this little, I guess, food truck that posts up near my house. Bro, they're
Mhm.
so good. But $7 for lemonade is kind of, it's a little bit overpriced in
That's a
my
lot.
opinion,
Yeah, it's
right?
insane.
I think the most I'd
Uh,
pay is probably like $4 or $5.
I mean, it depends on the size.
Well, it's like I don't know. It's like those little containers, plastic
Mm.
ones. It's like this, probably like this big.
yeah, I think I know exactly what you
You
mean.
know which ones?
That's $6 at most for those.
Yeah, but nonetheless, still pretty good lemonade.
Hmm.
What about you,
Um,
Serge?
yeah, you Serge, you're next.
Well, me, not that much. I mean, in terms of reading, I've only been reading one book, so I can't even give a full review of one this week. I'm still reading A Storm of Swords, and I mean, it's this third game of a Song of Ice and Fire, which is Game of Thrones. It's a really long book, so I guess that's one of the main reasons. Because like I think I've given this example before, but the audiobook is like 48 hours long, so it's a chunker. It's long.
Wow.
Right now, I'm about 60% done. At least that's kind of like what the tracker says. And I mean, so far, still really good. So far, I'm leaning 4.5 out of 5, which is like in the excellent
Oh.
range. Hmm. And then 5 is like hood classic. Nothing has been that so far. But 4.5 is like excellent range. 4 is like really good, like really solid book. But yeah, so I mean, to give like to all the people who may be interested in reading, I'll say this: my favorite character so far, out of all like through all 3 books, Tyrion Lannister, easy, and it by far. And then second, and after that's already like a big gap. Daenerys
Oh.
Targaryen, Team Targaryen. Third, I'm not sure. Right now, third kind of sways between Jaime Lannister. Sometimes it's Tywin Lannister.
Mm.
Sometimes it's even Sansa. She has some really good chapters.
Mm.
So I don't know if it's her as a character or her chapters that are good. Fourth, Petar Baelish, Littlefinger. He's devious. He's always scheming. And then fifth, the oh my god,
Ooh.
the eunuch, uh,
Um. Hi. What's his
Varys.
name? Barris.
Varys.
Yeah. Hmm.
He's also always conniving. You know, the walls have ears, the walls have eyes. That's kind of his thing. But yeah, those are my favorite 5 favorite characters for sure. But yeah, but honestly, like it's Tyrion and then everybody else. That's kind of how it is.
Yeah, but well, I guess going based off of what you said, Serge, I also have been watching Game of Thrones recently. I haven't
That's
watched
right.
it, so I just finished season 1. I'm probably like on season 2, episode 4. It's
Oh.
Mm,
starting to get good, like better for me, because like the first few episodes were a little bit rough to get through. But now it's starting to pick up slowly, so I'm starting to enjoy it a little bit more. And then also, I'm still reading The Fourth Wing. It's taken me a while to read it. I mean, I just haven't had enough time to read it, so I usually read maybe like an hour to an hour and a half at most if I have the time. But it's really good. I know, Serge, you said that it probably wasn't like an interest for you, but I think so far, like what I'm reading, I think you like it.
mm.
But I don't know. I won't. I when I give my book review, it won't be as fully detailed as yours. So just gonna give you like a thumbs up.
Yeah. No, and that brings up a really good point. Is that Serge had said that he gives a 4.5, which is like excellent, and he's never given a
Yeah.
5.
Mm.
Me, when I'm doing my music kind of like album review, I actually have a lot of 10 out of 10s. I wouldn't
Mm.
say I wouldn't say it's many.
Mm.
I'd say like on average, if there's like a 16 song album, there'd be maybe 3 where I would consider a 10 out of 10 song. But I think I have like when I'm going through it, I have like a production kind of tally for it. So like I'm rating it like across 3 things. It's like production, which is like sound quality, just how it kind of makes you feel. And then the second one would be like lyrics, cadence, flow, where it can just basically any kind of written word. And then the last is vibe, which is kind of like my bias check. So like even if I don't vibe with the song, so let's just say Cardi B, even if I wouldn't listen to it, if I'm like this is a good like club banger, then I'll give it high marks for that. So I've given a couple songs 10 out of 10. So to hear Serge saying he's never given us a book like a perfect review is kind of like I guess we differ in our approach to it, because I'd
Yeah,
say
because
they went out and they accomplished what they wanted to
yeah.
accomplish.
For me, that's for me. Five is honestly like that hood classic tier, like the best of the
Mm-hmm.
best. Like for example, fives that I can think of in terms of these movies: Arrival, Interstellar, Nacho Libre. Those like those are 5 out of
Yeah.
fives. Like they're like this is like going down in like you know what I mean? A
The
hood
Green
classic.
the Green Mile,
So yeah,
Shawshank.
Shawshank,
uh,
Yeah.
so like
Chicken Little.
even like I get
Wally.
No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Dude. Oh man.
Wally's like a 4.5. Excellent.
I just can't believe when we did our that list, Wally came up on top of like out of all the
Hey,
movies.
It'd be
it's a good
like
movie.
Braveheart and
But then
like
didn't Elf end up winning it all?
Oh yeah, Elf won it all
Elf.
for
Yeah, we
us.
lost all
Yeah,
credibility.
we did like a movie face off like across all genres, all decades, and somehow Elf won.
That's insane, dude.
So
No,
yeah, it was
we're smoking.
yeah, it was pretty funny. All right, well, if nobody else has anything else to kind of say, I think we're ready to head into our main
Uh,
topic.
yeah, I think so. I think we're good. Ready to
All
go.
right,
Interested.
so I believe our current scores or points. I think I'm in the lead with 5 or 4.
Thank you.
Oh,
Oh, wait! Before we continue, I
you
almost forgot.
think,
I
Serge, or
have
you
a
know?
rebuttal. I have a rebuttal from last episode.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just coming with you to you guys first. So technically, to me, there was 4, I guess, head-to-heads with me and Serge, and
Okay.
to me, I think me and Serge are still tied at 2-2 because Serge had won both the barbecue and the drinking contest.
Mm-hmm.
However, I beat him with the questions, and I also beat him at cornhole. So I don't know if you were taking into account like the trivia questions as another whole other round, but if you were, me and Serge are still tied at 2-2.
That's a great question.
Counter rebuttal.
And oh, okay, go for it,
I
Serge.
believe Miguel said those were power ups to guide us into the final round.
Yep,
Fuck. All
they
right.
were. I see where you're going, and I think the shitty thing about it is I think even the water or like the liquid drinking portion of it came down to a paper scissors rock.
Yeah, I did.
So like even then, like it was as close as it could have gotten, and it came down to a game of paper scissors rock essentially. But it was well fought throughout. I think the cornhole games were close. The sauce games, like tasting the
Yeah.
sauce, was close. Everything was close. But yeah, no, Serge is right. I think the trivia portion of it was to get power ups for the final round. So they were
Okay,
kind of it
okay.
was like a 3A 3B kind of game.
All right.
But yeah, but I see where you're coming. But it was competitive. It was good.
All right. I just wanted
Believe me,
to.
it hurt me more than it hurt you to lift up Serge's hands as the victor.
All right.
All
So
right. Just
then,
wanted to
with
make
that
sure.
being said
That's
again,
it.
I
Yes.
believe I'm in the lead with 5 or 4. I'm
I
not
think it's
sure.
4. I think you're at 4. I
You're at
You-
I'm at
2,
You're at 2, and I'm
and
at
Miguel's
1.
1,
at
and then
1. So hopefully this will be a. I mean, well, I guess it depends. Do you want Miguel to catch up, or do you want Robert to catch up to me? It really is. It could be anything could go down.
I mean, I'm just here so I won't get fined,
bruh.
Basically, yeah. Out here doing cardio.
dude.
All right.
And then, yeah, sorry. I will enough fucking getting me upset. Go for it, Serge.
All right. So, like I said, for today's main topic, we're gonna do a little flashback to a previous episode. In a previous episode, I told these guys different apocalyptic scenarios and how would you survive. Now, this is a little bit at the same kind of vibe, same kind of theme. Again, I'm gonna be putting you up against different scenarios. So it's not always going to be apocalyptic, but it's going to be different, maybe obstacles, but they're going to be kind of environment based or I guess monster based, kind of slasher movie based. But in this case, you're going to have to kind of draft your dream team.
Oh,
Now, each team is going to consist of 5 people total.
Okay.
Yourself, you're the leader, you're in charge. And now we're going to make kind of a little bit of to fit each role. So you're going to be yourself, the leader. You're going to need a brains of the operation. You're going to need the muscle. You're going to need your typical support slash healer, kind of that kind of role. And then you're going to need the wild card. So, like I said, it's going to be a team of 5. With this team that you draft, per scenario, you're going to be able to draft a whole new team. So you don't have to stay with the same team.
okay.
So it's going to be changing. So as I give you guys a scenario, I'll give you about 2 to 3 minutes. It's going to be quick, so you guys have to think on your feet to think of the 4 people you're going to take with you to survive in this situation. And let's just
Okay.
say there's going to be a little bit of a twist at the end.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Quick
all right,
question: can we use the
yes,
same people across rounds?
you can only use the same people twice.
So
Okay.
is this fictional characters as well, or
No, it's
like we
going to be
can
like real
draft?
life,
Oh,
real
real
life
life.
people.
So
So it
it's
can
like
be,
Goku
yeah,
and
no, it's real life people. Yeah. So I don't know. It can be your neighbor. It can be a guy you ran into Walmart one time, or it can be The Rock. I don't know. Doesn't matter. You
okay.
have to be
Rock's
real people
neighbor.
though.
So you
All
said
right.
there's a leader, the brains, wild
Muscle.
The
card.
muscle.
Oh, the muscle. Okay, that's what I'm forgetting.
Yeah. So it's yourself who's the leader. You're in charge. The muscle, the brains, the support slash healer, and then the wild card. And these people, no matter what, they're always going to be loyal to you. They're going to be loyal to the cause. So don't ever think they're going to betray you or anything. Like they're in it to survive, and they're going to typically acknowledge you as the leader.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the first situation you'll find yourself in is Oh, I think we may have lost Miguel.
Oh,
Miguel, are you there?
I think he might have.
Bad, my bad, my bad.
All right.
There was a movie playing in the background. She got
Are
loud.
you? But you're good now.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. So I'll start again.
Yeah.
So the first scenario you guys are gonna find yourself in is a famous, I believe, 80s movie, maybe with Arnold. You're going to be. You're
Terminator?
gonna be going up against a predator. You're gonna be in the
Oh.
jungle.
A child one or
No, that's a whole different type of obstacle for sure. No,
that's the
you're gonna
caveat.
be up. It's like actually, this is yeah. No, so you're gonna be up against a predator. It's gonna be in a jungle type environment. Your goal is to survive for either a month or basically beat it. So in other words, there's no way you're gonna be able to avoid it for a month. So in other words, you're gonna have to beat this thing.
Okay.
And basically, now you guys have about 3 minutes to think about your team. But I want you guys to kind of lead me through your thought process. Also so we can kind of not just be here being quiet. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Okay. So I'm the leader. Do I have to
Mhm.
be the leader?
Yeah, because I mean, you're the guy who's yeah. Think of yourself as the
Mm,
leader. You're not like
calling
the
the shots.
dictator. Yeah,
Calling the
you're not the
shots.
dictator, but like if it ever comes down to a decision, you're typically going to be the one that makes it.
Okay. Um,
So we can obviously choose to have Arnold on our team, right?
Hmm.
He defeated Predator, I believe. The
Now,
brains.
in relation to your question, to make it a little bit more interesting, Robert, I know he said kind of like Goku or stuff like that. You can have people from shows or movies, but they gotta be like normal people. You know what I mean? They can't be
mhm.
Goku type power level. They can't be like Captain
So they
America, no
can't.
super
Okay.
soldier serum. They gotta be kind of like Arnold or Rambo. You know what I mean? Like they know what they're doing. So kind of just human people with human abilities.
So I could draft the Green Arrow because I mean, technically doesn't have any superpowers. He's really good with the bow and arrow.
I think we'll use the Green Arrow as the cutoff point. If you can do what the Green Arrow does, kind of, I think that's a good one. That should be able
Okay.
to answer a lot of questions.
uh, just get the actor.
But that doesn't mean I don't underrate the Arrow. I know what he's capable of. So
Okay.
just want to put that out there.
I'm tripping out on muscle. I have the brain, support, and wild card. I'm just tripping out on muscle.
Yeah, I think I'm
Um,
tripping out on support and healer. Um,
Now again, like even like people like Rambo, like his kind of ability is kind of exaggerated, but again, he's still human and stuff. The stuff humans can do, so you can still get a little bit creative with it or crazy with the people you pick, but they can't be like enhanced.
John
mm,
Wick.
Yeah, I don't see why
Oh
not.
shit.
I feel like because I feel like the
Hmm.
Arrow does more than what John Wick would be able to do with, like if you're trying to get it to shoot something.
I see what you mean.
Hmm.
oh my god. Let's see. Muscle, muscle, muscle.
You guys have
Who's
about a
muscle?
minute and a half left,
Oh shit. Okay.
and then of course you guys are gonna have to tell me kind of, all right, now what are you gonna do? How are you gonna approach this?
Okay. And, what do you mean, like approach it?
Just kind of what is your team gonna do? Like, all right, you pick these people, but what are they gonna do exactly? Like, what are you kind of thinking?
Okay, I see what you mean.
How is each person going to be used, and why you think they're going to actually help you in either surviving or taking it down?
Okay. Can we choose like people in their prime, or it has to be like current?
It can be in their prime.
All
Okay.
time.
Okay. Also another question. Can it be like a person? So it can be like a person from like the role that they played in a certain movie, right?
Yeah, like for example, if you want John Wick, you can have John Wick as John Wick.
Okay, I see what you mean. Okay,
Damn,
cool.
I think Robert might.
No, I'm just asking because like I want to I want to be sure that I got stuff.
I think I cooked, but I mean, my track record says otherwise. So
I'm thinking something tells me you're going to have a lot of athletes.
me,
Yeah.
just three.
All right, that's okay. That sounds
That's
about
like,
right for you. Yeah.
I mean, I'm using athletes very loosely.
All right, so you guys have about 30 seconds.
All right.
I feel good about
Or,
this.
or
Honestly, now
whenever you
that I'm
guys.
No,
looking at
dude,
it,
I literally do not have a wild card, bro.
oh, the wild card was the first one I came up with.
I'm
Yeah,
curious to
because
see what you came up
it can
with
be
because I
anything. Yeah.
have no idea.
Are we gonna go down the line? So like, I'll list off my brains. Robert lists off his brains, or
No,
we're
we'll
going
just
full
your
squad.
full team, full squad.
Okay, okay.
Your starting five. All right. Well, with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and start. Does anybody wish to go first?
Uh,
Uh, I can go first.
All right. So again, to kind of repeat the situation you're in a jungle type environment. You're going up against a predator, and I mean, what you have access to is kind of again what you would realistically have access to. So let's see what you came up with to either try to survive for a while or if you're going to just try to take it out.
So we're gonna play the long game. That's how my team's approaching it. And so the leader will be myself. I'm the one kind of calling the shots, manning it, really delegating the work here. My brains is gonna be Luke from Outdoor Boys. I feel like I may have used this one too early, but
Okay.
I feel good about having Luke there. My muscle will be Brock Lesnar. Just for many reasons I'll go into a little bit later. My support is MrBeast. And then
Wow.
my wild card is going to be Jason Statham. So the way we're going to kind of
ah,
go about it, yeah, Jason Statham was like number one
So
lock in
again, like
pick
Jason Statham, like in the movies type,
in any movie,
any
Transporter,
movies.
Fast
Okay.
and Furious, The Expendables. You know, he's like explosive expert, close combat, knife skills. He's a driver. I don't know how much that come into play in the jungle, but knowing Luke from Outdoor Boys, he'd probably make us a car. So he's that wild card. When we need him, he'll come up clutch. Um, so support MrBeast. I think that's kind of self-explanatory. He comes in, many resources, got that money. Knowing him, it'll probably turn into like a game show kind of contest with us and the Predator at some point, where we can win like certain challenges, get power ups. So I think he'd give us the leg up on that. But he's just always in the right place, right time. Muscle Brock Lesnar. I mean, grapple skills. He's not only a multiple time WWE champion, but also uh, world renowned UFC fighter. Just a mean son of a gun. Plus, he can scream pretty scary. I don't know if you all have ever heard Brock Lesnar scream, but it
no.
sounds like like a teenage velociraptor, like kind of a voice crack in there.
Wow.
It's pretty intense. So I think he'd give us the edge there, just intensity. Plus he has big traps. And lastly, brains. Luke from Outdoor Boys. I mean, top notch survival skills.
Mm.
We can kind of leave the fighting and the tactical stuff to us, and he can kind of just make sure that we have plenty to eat, shelter, food, and make sure we have sick ass footage when we just wait out the predator. So that's my team. That's the five of us.
All right.
Okay.
And like you said, you're playing the long game, but is your goal kind of to try to take it out eventually?
The long
Or
game.
I guess, I guess you say, are you taking the initiative to take it out, or are you kind of being more
Oh,
reactive?
yeah, very very reactive. We need time to
Okay.
set up MrBeast stage and everything. But Brock Lesnar's there if things get sticky, and of course Jason Statham is kind of like that flex. We're talking about like the counterplay of like the Florida Panthers.
Mm.
So that's our Jason Statham. If he attacks us, if we need to be on the offensive, we're a flexible group, I'd say. But yeah, we're in it for the long haul.
All right. And Robert, what about you? What's your starting five?
All right. So my starting five, obviously, myself as a leader. For the brains, I picked Bear Grylls just because,
Mm.
I mean, he knows his environments and stuff like that. He's got a background, I think, what he was military background from wherever he's from, the UK, is he?
Mm.
I don't know. Yeah, right. So yeah, use that, Bear Grylls. Um, so he thinks fast. He's gonna provide the layout for the jungle for us. So within the first few days, we're gonna establish a base. He's gonna be the one to sort of, go through the jungle and figure out the layout. For my support slash healer, I have Emily Blunt from the movie Edge of Tomorrow because she's good under pressure and she can she thinks fast as well. She's a good thinker in that movie. So she's gonna be very useful in case we get any sort of um wounds.
Mm.
My muscle, I didn't know who to pick. I was in between The Rock and I was gonna say Eddie Hall, but ultimately I went with Dave Batista.
That's badass.
prime prime Dave Batista.
Yeah,
Okay,
2009.
because he has a former military background, WWE wrestler, uh, action star, movie star. So I think he's going to be really good to go up against a predator in case if we ever meet him like face to face. My wild card, because you went with Jason Statham, I just had to go with John Wick. So I'm going with John Wick because John Wick would shit on Statham. My brother says no, that Statham kicks John Wick's ass, but I don't believe it. Okay. So the way that we're going to go about this is obviously the first few days, like I mentioned, Bear Grylls is going to go and establish a base for us. He's going to get a layout of the jungle. We're gonna survive and study the environment, see what's of to use for us. Emily Blunt can go out and see if there's any natural occurring, like medicinal trees, plants, whatever it is. And then that's probably like the first 2 weeks, I'd say. So establishing the base and getting the layout is like the first 2 weeks. Then the following weeks, we launch Operation Baba Yaga. Fucking John Wick is going ham, bro, with Dave Batista. That's when we actually start hunting out the predator and see what we can do. And the last the last week is when we just final fight, bro. We either survive or we're getting the hell out of wherever we are. So, I mean, what happens at the end, we don't know. You guys are just gonna have to stay tuned and see if the Baba Yaga gets them or not.
That's sick.
All right. Kind of like
Pretty
what I'm hearing
similar.
so far. Kind of similar vibe for sure. Although, at least me personally, I feel like there was one main thing that kind of decided led me to. I think I would rather be part of this person's team. Because again, who was your support again, Robert?
I said Emily Blunt from The Edge of Tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Okay. All
I
right.
don't know
Well,
if you've
any
seen that
final
movie.
closing statements? Last thoughts?
Um, I don't know. I think both of us had a pretty solid team. It just comes down to I think who the muscle is and who our like tactical
Hmm.
wild card is. I don't know,
No, and
right?
even then, it was very, very similar. It's like Jason Statham and John Wick. I mean, it's like yin and yang almost. And then same thing, Dave Batista,
Honestly.
Brock Lesnar. So it's really just flavor of choice, I think.
Well, also, are we just going up against one predator?
It's
Or
just one.
it's... Oh, okay.
Mm.
we might have overcorrected with one Jason Statham and one John Wick. We were expecting an army.
Yeah, I think that's.
Wait, where's the rest of them?
Mm.
Right.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go into our second one. I'm not gonna tell you guys who I think took that round. It's gonna be a great review at the end because I don't want you guys keeping track. I wanted to really keep it interesting until the end to see who wins.
Okay.
But
Okay,
again,
okay, okay.
I like the way you guys are thinking. Good choices, in my opinion. A lot of good choices. Now, for the next one, it's a little bit more traditional. You guys are, we'll say, kind of like the Atlanta larger metropolitan area. So, like a big city metropolitan. And in this one, your typical zombie survival. So, this is about a month after the zombie outbreak. So, pretty recent. Again, you're in a large metropolitan area. And for this one, you kind of have to stay in that large metropolitan area. So, the whole main city of Atlanta, any surrounding suburbs or smaller cities, towns, And again, you're just trying to survive as long as you can. And again, I'll give you guys 3 minutes, and you guys are gonna come up with your starting five. And again, for these zombies, they're kind of your Walking Dead zombies. They just walk, they infect you by biting you, stuff like that.
Okay. Okay, okay. Hmm. Tricky. Um.
So what's the goal? The goal is it just to
Survival.
survival? Okay.
Mm, yeah,
Okay.
because in
I
this
think
one, you're not being actively hunted in the same style as a predator would, but it's just kind of like surviving the obstacle instead of the obstacle trying to hunt you down.
Oh, okay.
And again, just walk me through, guys. Your rationale, your thinking.
damn.
Okay, okay.
Um
I'm thinking homegrown here. I want to stay in the
Like Georgia based.
yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Uh, yeah.
Is that kind of like Charles Barkley? Because I think he's from like this.
I mean, I won't give away my answers, but
Ernie Johnson.
yeah, no, I'm keeping it close, um,
Okay.
close to the chest. But that's kind of where I'm thinking, like maybe some Southern boys, you know.
All right.
for me, I
Um,
think
Yeah, you don't have to tell me who you're picking. Just kind of like
no,
at least where
yeah.
you're kind of what you're considering, kind of like where you're looking out for.
I'm considering badassery.
can we do video games?
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna ask that too. You can do
yeah,
video
like
games?
Any type of media,
Okay.
Okay.
any type of media, like a character you can think of, a person you can think of. But again, there has to be something that a normal human would be able to do. So again, John Wick is just stretches kind of like the limits or Jason Statham, but still,
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, you just kind of have to be, I guess, be one out of a billion.
Okay. Cool.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay.
You guys have about 1 minute left.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. I'm. You're gonna have to stick with me on this one. Um.
All
Okay.
right. So again, you guys in the Atlanta. You guys just stay kind of in that large metropolitan area. Your typical Walking Dead zombies. You guys are getting your starting five. And with that being said, I believe Miguel started off last time, right?
Hmm.
Well, this time Robert, can you go ahead and start us off?
All right. So my wild card, I have the Punisher, John Bernthal. Only he's a former
Okay.
Marine, not afraid to make risky calls. Dude's always pissed off, not afraid to
Really?
die.
Okay.
Kicks ass. uh, the brains, I'm gonna go with Joel Miller from The Last of Us. I was
Okay.
gonna go with somebody from The Walking Dead, but I think Joel Miller, he's way more down to earth and it's more I guess head leveled. So he'll be the brains. He's resourceful when it comes to like tactical resourcefulness. and laying out traps, doing things like that. So he'll be in charge of like laying out those kinds of traps like that, along with like if he needs help from the Punisher. For my healer, I think I'm just gonna stick with my Emily Blunt from Edge of
Legit
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I couldn't really
Good
think of any
choice.
other healers. Like that's the one that I'm having the hardest trouble with is my healers because I really
Mhm.
don't see any like movies or things like that where there is
Yeah.
healers.
Again, it can be like more healer support. So I think Emily
Yeah,
Blunt is a
yeah,
good kind of fit for that type of
Yeah.
vibe.
I think so, right? Because like I said before, like she's very
Mm.
fast. She can do either both, where she can definitely heal somebody up, or she can play like the tactical role. The muscle, I'm gonna go with The Rock because I think there was a movie that starred in that he was, or was it Batista? Fuck, I don't remember. One of those two, but I'm gonna just stick with The Rock though for my muscle. Um, Obviously certified fucking badass.
Mm.
So The Rock's
So are we
gonna be
going
in
like WWE The Rock? That kind of
just him, just
Dwayne
bodybuilder The Rock,
Johnson.
Dwayne
Yeah.
Johnson.
All right.
So we're going with Dwayne Johnson, bodybuilder.
All right.
Am I missing anybody?
I think you have everybody. I have 5 people here.
Okay. So first few days, just find a secure location building that we can stake out, stay in. Just the first few days is fortifying the fort. That'll be like the first week. Second week, probably go out and finding resources, seeing if there are like any Walgreens, CVS, any pharmaceuticals that we can get up and pick up. Well, we'll send out Emily Blunt alongside maybe Joel can go ahead and accompany her. I don't think Frank Castle is needed in these first few weeks.
Yeah, I
So
feel like
then
it's
face
a good idea. Kind of send him towards the end when it's really,
Yeah,
you
when
know.
he's really needed. Save his ammunition when it's needed most. So that's the first 2 weeks. Next following week, I think that's when zombies are gonna start coming for us. So week 3, making sure Frank Castle is well equipped with his armory and arsenal that he needs in order to fend us off from any of the zombies. And stage 4 is probably reaching out to any other people that are still alive. If there's like any other headquarters that have been set up, is getting into contact with them and getting ready to get picked up by a helicopter to go and get secure.
Okay. I like it. I like it.
All right, Mikey, the ball's in your court.
Is that my cue? Okay. You're gonna need to stick with me on this one. There's a lot of picks out of left field on this one. So I'm just gonna go top down. Me, the
All
leader.
right.
Kind of same thing. My brains. This is where you're gonna. This is the wild.
We have to hear
It's
you
a
out.
wild card of with my brains, I'm going with top 5 all time NFL quarterback Drew Brees. Um, the reason I'm going with it is because I really honed in on the
Uh,
Atlanta
homegrown.
Metropolitan. Yeah. Um,
Oh my god.
he picked apart the Atlanta defense for, I mean, multiple years, decades.
Oh.
So he's able to find the holes in the Atlanta defense. So he's the brains. He's the captain. He's gonna lead us to victory. Just pick apart the field.
Oh.
Muscle,
Okay.
also Georgia grown. I'm going AJ Styles, WWE wrestler. He has the phenomenal forearm. Great wrestler. He beat John Cena to win the WWE Championship a couple years back. Just great wrestler all time. He's wrestled in different places, different organizations like New Japan, different promotions, TNA. So he's been around the block, but he always comes back to Georgia. So I think he'd represent. Um, Support, I'm gonna go Lifeline from Apex. She has a pretty good kit where she has constant med packs.
Wait,
So she's able to pop insta revive. So if any of us ever get down, she can just use her L1 ability and she can pick us back up without having to put herself in danger. So I think just the constant rotations, kind of training them like zombies where we kind of go in circles. Even
I
if we
throw
go
the red
down,
flag and challenge that play, Surge.
I'm we'll maybe say that she can't produce her
Her abilities.
equipment. Yeah, not her abilities, but kind of her expertise, her kind of
okay,
knowledge. But she's not
I'll
going to be able to come up with her kind of what she provides in the game. That's definitely pushing it.
We won't be able to pop it all. Get a care package. Okay. Uh,
Basically, yeah.
okay. And then my personal favorite, and the first one that I wrote down, wild card again. I don't know why it's like the easiest one for me to come up with. Is Outcast. The group
No,
specifically on
no.
specifically Andre Three Stacks. The reason I'm going is because he knows the lay of the
No.
land. Born and raised ATL rapper. Not a lot of people know this, but he came out in an action movie called Four Brothers. Goated movie.
Yes, that's a really good movie.
That's a
So
good movie.
if shit hits the fan, he calls up his brothers, and we got Mark Wahlberg. He's got the connections, also the street cred. So if there's any other survivors in Atlanta, it's like, oh shit, that's Andre 3000. We can form a community.
Honestly, that street cred might be the most like the best thing going for 103,000 in this team.
No, yeah,
That's a
for
good
sure.
point. Yeah.
We're gonna need it because we have Drew Brees and everybody in Atlanta probably hates him. But we have AJ Styles, we have Outcast, and we have the credentials to be in Atlanta and be surviving. So that's my team. Our
Okay.
strategy is just, I mean, survival. So it's holding it down. We'd be able to pick strong parts in Atlanta because of Drew Brees. Could find the holes in the defense, find the holes in the zombies. And then AJ Styles, muscle, flexibility. He's also agile, good off the ropes. Lifeline, even though she's nerfed, medical expert, be able to heal us.
New patch
And
notes
then
came out, and they just
they nerfed her.
We nerfed her.
And also she knows how to use a weapon because it's a battle royale, so she's used to that survival aspect, always on her toes, always running, never sleeping. So just that experience alone I think is good. And then of course Outcast. So that's my group.
That's
All right.
hilarious.
Definitely. I like interesting route you decided to take, but I'm willing to hear you out on some stuff. But all right. Now that you kind of guys have gotten the lay of the land, I didn't do this on the first run, but now you guys kind of know what's happening. This is kind of the twist that I talked about in the beginning. You guys are going to be able to switch one member of each other's team with any person of your choice.
Oh.
So if you guys want to replace, if you want to replace Robert's Emily Blunt with somebody else, Danny DeVito, you can do that.
That's
If you want
where
to do
my
that to
brain went
Miguel,
to.
yeah. Now the only caveat is this person will actively be trying to help you. So it can be somebody who will sabotage you. Like they're always going to be loyal and they're going to actually be trying to help you throughout the whole thing.
Oh.
So again, I believe Robert started us off. So Robert, immediately, is there somebody you want to take off his team and replace him with?
So his current team right now, right?
Yeah, it's
So
Drew,
yeah,
Drew Brees is the brains, AJ Styles muscle, Lifeline from Apex is support, and Outcast is the wild card. Specifically Andre 3000. But if you give me Big Boy, I won't be mad.
I'm gonna go ahead and switch out Andre 3000 for Lizzo.
For Lizzo.
that's
Okay.
actually
About that time.
really smart. That's really
Yeah, just
smart for various
because
reasons.
of the street cred. I don't want
Yeah.
Yeah,
you forming that community.
Yeah, that was a good pick.
that's a good pick.
And I can switch one from Roberts, right?
Would
Yeah.
you? Did you already tell him
So,
again your what your was?
for mine, the wild card is Frank Castle, the Punisher, and then Joel Miller from
Last of Us.
and then Emily Blunt, and then Dwayne Johnson.
Damn, tough team. I think you picked a lot of really good flex spots.
I know, dude.
I'm thinking I'll take out Noel. No,
Joel.
that's Joel.
Joel?
Sorry,
Joel?
Joel. I'll take him out just because he has experience with zombies.
And who are you gonna replace him with?
The voice of Elmo,
Just whoever he is.
whoever he is, just
All
the
right.
voice of Elmo.
Let's see.
I think he'd get everybody soft, like on the team.
Okay.
Like it'd be like, let's not hurt them, and then it's a
Mm.
this like just naturally he's just gonna come off as let's be friends. And I think
All right.
So apparently the dude's name is Kevin Clash.
Kevin
Clash.
that's a badass name. Fuck.
That is
Let's
a
see.
name.
Where's he
He's
from,
500
bro?
pounds, pure muscle.
Yeah.
Let's see. I need to see what I'm working with because I don't know his stats like
His
that.
stats. Yeah, what his attributes?
So currently he's 64 years old. He's from Baltimore.
Oh. Ooh.
Kind of like an
He's
Atlanta
6
type
foot.
city.
Yeah.
He's 6 foot.
Big guy.
All right.
So hey, this might work out for me.
I'll
All
take
right.
it.
Well, I've done the calculations, ran the scenarios. I know who won this round. And now, as we go into our next round, remember, there's going to be this little twist at the end. And our next scenario, we're going to the world of Mad Max.
Mm.
Oh.
So in this scenario, you guys kind of know it's kind of Australia in modern day. Um, you're kind of it's basically like I think it's a post-nuclear apocalypse. I'm not really sure, but it's basically like a desert, no
Mhm.
water. Though the currency is water, I guess, and you survive through gasoline, another currency, and whatever crazy car contraption you can make. So again, give me your starting five. And again, in this one, it's just kind of survival, just trying to survive, try to create your ultimate
Mhm.
team.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So be the leader. Easy. One down. It's tricky. 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 Tricky.
And again, just lead me through your thought process.
All
Yeah.
right. So I don't know. I think I want people that are already used to this sort of post-apocalyptic
Mhm.
world. Um, fuck, what's the name of that video game? What's the video game? Sort of like Mad Max. That's like that sort of
Borderlands.
Borderlands. Yeah,
Mm.
Mhm.
So you kind of want some people who know how to survive in that scenario, but also go so kind of crazy already.
exactly. I'm gonna take what's the fast-paced dude from Apex, Mikey?
Octane.
Octane. I'm kicking it.
Yeah. Interesting,
Interesting.
interesting.
Okay. Okay. I'm feeling good. So, like, to answer, look, can we go back to like the Apex thing?
Hmm.
Um, so we can't use abilities. So like there can't be like something mythological coming or
Yeah, if it's something more, I guess, inherent. I mean, kind of think of it like John Wick is kind of like you're that's kind of the ceiling. Know what I mean?
got it. Okay.
Because then when you get into the arrow, I feel like that's even though you can say they're kind of close. I think if you really know the intricacies, you can really tell like what's the cutoff. So kind of
Uh-huh.
think about along those lines. Because like if you say, "Well, I'm gonna pick Tony Stark," yeah, you get his brains, but you're not gonna get the Iron Man suit. Know what I mean? So
Got
kind
it.
of think of it
Okay.
like that.
Perfect. Um
I'm going with Captain Jack Sparrow and his Black
ooh.
Pearl.
All right, you guys have about a minute left.
Oh,
Fuck, I don't know who I want as my.
Yeah, because now at this point you got to remember, if you guys make like one clear, like solid pick, that might get replaced for a pretty bad one.
I
yeah.
know.
The problem is I think all my picks are gonna be ass, so like it's gonna make it even harder on Robert.
All right.
Wild card, wild card, wild card.
All right. So as we're finishing up again, you guys in the world of Mad Max. You guys' goal is just to survive in this crazy place. Again, you're probably gonna need some kind of crazy car contraption.
Uh-huh.
And give me your starting five, Miguel.
So my starting five, and I know it's a little bit of a cop out, but I think you kind of gave me a layup a little bit. For brains, I'm going Tony Stark. You
Okay.
kind of you kind of brought it up, and I think he literally built it in a cave. So any of the scrap metal that we're able to find, any technology, he's able to make great weapons from it, cars from it, vehicles from it. He's able to produce his own arc reactor technology. So the whole energy issue that we have going on is no longer that much of an issue just because we have our own perpetual technology, energy kind of coming from it. So we'd be able to
Can I
go
make
from
the
there.
first ever perpetual motion machine?
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially what it is.
Okay.
And so
Just
for muscle, again, going homegrown, I'm going Tom Hardy.
okay.
He was in the Mad Max movie. Basically, he started from the bottom, worked his way up, able to be the action hero we need, weapons, driving skills, just able to rough it out with the best of them. Scrappy, I'll say. Then he's really good looking to look at. And just coming from that aspect, he'll help motivate the team.
All right.
Uh, Support. This is to answer the water question. I'm going Bobby Boucher, from Waterboy. uh, we would have the most high quality H2O of anybody left in that Mad Max Australia. Also, if shit hits the fan, he's also kind of a good flex spot too. Because then we can just say that the other people there are talking shit about his mama, and he can go out there and steal resources from him, like go like red in the face and just like steal everybody's shit, just knock him out. And I think that's something that wild card also support that we need. So just being able to purify the water, to really just make something out of nothing, a lot like Tony Stark. Wild card, I'm going Jet Li. Now you might think this is a weird one, but he's a smaller Jason Statham, and I think evolutionarily speaking, smaller people and creatures tend to do better in desert environments because they need less, to go off. They
Okay.
need less water, less food. So we're getting all the action-packed greatness of Jason Statham and a smaller package in Jet Li. He's that weapons expert, explosive expert. Just anything we need, he'll come up clutch. So that's my team.
All right.
And then I guess just survive. I mean, I don't even think we need to survive. I think we'd flourish, in all honesty. We have Tony Stark building us the technology, Tom Hardy to kind of lead the way, has that experience, has that muscle. Jet Li can kind of just be the jack of all trades, and of course, Bobby Boucher clear our water situation. So that's my team.
All right. Definitely some really strong picks. Some
Mm-hmm.
geographically on topic picks. And
Mm-hmm.
Robert, what about you?
All right. So now as my muscle, I'm gonna keep Frank Castle. He's now my
Mhm.
muscle. Pretty
All right.
self-explanatory from what I've said before. Former Marine, certified badass in his arsenal and shit. I'm going to have Catwoman as the brains.
Mm.
Why? Because she's manipulative. She's like street savvy, has that sort of like cred in the streets. She's manipulative, um, manipulative to like the warlords. So I'm sure she can like sneak herself in and sort of get her way with the warlords and shit like that. So that's
Right.
gonna be her role. She's gonna be like a thief slash gathering intel for us, being a spy.
Good use of the brains roll for sure.
Oh yeah, good.
Exactly. Next for my healer slash support is Dr. Ryan Stone.
Are
Serge,
you
do
gonna
you
have
know
to
who
tell
this
me about
from?
this one? I do not.
From Gravity, the movie Gravity
Oh,
with Sandra Bullock.
okay.
So that's Sandra Bullock.
Then I do know. Okay.
She has a medical background, so she can definitely serve to use for us. Also, she's been into space, so I'm assuming that she has the knowledge and resources if we can find them to build like life support sustaining medical devices if we need it. So she's going to serve us probably mostly she's going to be in that healer position more than support. My
Okay.
wild card, I was in between like also picking like Tom Hardy, like Miguel said. However, because there are like some warlords and stuff happening in this post-apocalyptic world, ultimately I went with Wilson Fisk, also known as the Kingpin from Daredevil.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just because
That's
he can serve as like a brute and like as a strategist because he knows he's like in the mafia, knows exactly how things run in that world. So I think he's gonna serve great use with being on us.
right. That's a really strong team. I'm gonna just go ahead and be honest right now. It's a really, really strong team. A lot of some really innovative ways to use some of those roles, but I mean, they sound
Mm-hmm.
good.
Yeah.
And now, same as last time, Miguel, is there somebody you might want to replace on Robert's team that make his life a little bit harder to live?
Can you run me by the picks again, just so I can be sure?
Yeah, so the Punisher, Catwoman, Dr. Ryan Stone, and Wilson Fisk.
Kingpin.
Kingpin. I think I am going to take out Kingpin. So I'll take away Wilson Fisk. And who would I replace him with? I'm going to go with Helen Keller.
Oh my God. Okay.
Also, on the topic of just Helen Keller, do you guys think she was a real person?
Yeah.
Dude, it's because my wife swears that she wasn't a real person
Oh
from
my
all the
God.
things that she's like done. Because what was it like? She's flown a plane and written music and who knows what else?
She was a faker.
I don't know.
That's funny.
All right.
That's what
Well,
I'm replacing it with.
All right. I like smart pick. I can definitely see why you might have picked her.
Mhm.
Robert, what about you? Who are you
All right,
plucking out
Mikey,
of Miguel's
run me
team?
back your.
Brains, I got Tony Stark. Muscle, I have Tom Hardy. Support, Bobby Boucher. And wildcard, Jet Li.
What were you using Jet Li? What was his role in yours?
Essentially, he was a smaller Jason Statham, kind of our wild card, jack of all trades, able to weapons expert, survival expert, close combat, things like that. He'd protect us, basically.
Okay. I think I'm gonna replace your brains, Tony Stark. I think he poses a bigger
Mhm.
intellectual threat.
Good pick.
Who would I replace him with? I'm replacing him with Shaggy from Scooby Doo.
Ooh.
That'd
I was hoping you'd just say Shaggy, like the singer.
be funny as well. I feel like he'd
Mr.
be too
Loba
strong
Loba.
because actually they're both very charismatic. So yeah.
Ultra Instinct Shaggy.
Mm.
Dude, from that video game.
Yeah. Okay,
All
Shaggy.
right. Well, there you have it. And again, I've run the numbers, run it through my algorithms, and I have generated a winner. And with that, we'll go into our next survival situation. For this one, we're going to the world of the Hunger Games by, I believe, Suzanne
Ah,
Collins. And in this one, Katniss never brought down President Snow. I think that's his name.
Mm.
I'm actually not
Hmm.
sure. I think that's his name.
Yeah, President Snow.
So it was a result of the capital still existing. We're going into our fourth quarter quell, which would be the 100th anniversary of the Hunger Games. And for this one, each district has a 5-man squad, so you can kind of see where this is going.
Mm.
Now, for the environment, it's kind of similar to Catching Fire. You're kind of like in that clock stadium arena. Have you guys both seen Catching Fire, the second Hunger Games movie?
I believe so.
yes.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, in case you maybe don't remember, anybody who hasn't watched it, basically there's 12 zones, kind of like in a clock, and at
Oh,
every
yes.
hour something different happens. So in one, it's like fog that will kill you. Another one, there's like
Yes. Yes.
baboons another one, there's like a huge flood that will flood the whole area. And then in the middle, that's kind of where there's like a big I guess like water area, and then at the very middle there's like all the weapons and kind of the starting point.
Hmm.
So again, it's the fourth quarter quell. Each district is taking 5 people. Doesn't really matter what district you're from. Maybe you can decide in the district when you decide your team. But what are you guys going with? You guys have 3 minutes again.
Damn, this
And
one's.
again, of course, your survival. Your team wins the Hunger Games.
Okay.
So it's not just one person lives, your whole team lives since you're from the same district.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sounds a little bit tricky. The changing environments, I think, changes up a lot
There's
of
also
things.
like weapons that they get right off the bat, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's like you're more like your kind of older weapons like javelin, spears, bow and arrow, daggers, that kind of stuff. But you, of course,
Mhm.
you have to fight for them like in the very middle, at the very beginning. Then, of course, you might just run into each other since you're in the attending the same Hunger Games.
Oh, yeah.
It's a real life battle royale.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We're gonna have
Basically,
Ninja.
you're in Fortnite. Ninja.
Dude,
As
I'm
the
just
as
draft all
the
like the
as
OG
the
Fortnite
yeah.
streamers.
Mm. He's a Plutarch Evansby, the game maker, whatever his name was.
Hmm.
All right. What are you guys thinking? Run me through your thoughts.
Dude, I don't know. I feel like this one's a tough one. Like it's more tough to me
Mm.
just because you have to be strategic, but also you
Oh,
kind of want people that are good with
ooh.
weapons.
I get what you mean. Like I feel like you need a lot of specialists, but also kind of flex picks in a way.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Mm. Ooh. That's this. I feel like this is gonna be taken away, and I'm so pissed that you're gonna take it away.
Well, you
It's
better
like
think of
Oh man.
a alternative then, or maybe you never know.
well, because it's fucked because it's so good. Well, I am overhyping it right now, but I think it's hilarious.
All
It's
right.
another funny pick, homegrown pick, another
Oh my
Georgia boy.
God. I can't wait
Um,
to see how this one's homegrown.
yeah, from from the district. Uh, okay. What are we thinking? What are we
By the
thinking?
way, to all the listeners out there, me personally, that second Hunger Games movie, I think it might be the best one. They definitely cooked. Um, Now the very last one out of the Hunger Games kind of lost me a little bit, but
Hmm.
those first three solid. Oh, and then the ending scene, or I guess would be like the epilogue, post credit scene in the third Hunger Games. That scene was crazy with what's his name, Peta. I was like,
Uh,
what just happened? If you
damn.
know, you
Okay,
know.
I'm like tripping out on two of them.
All right, you guys have
Robert.
about 30 seconds left.
Oh shit. Okay. Did you
I
already
know.
finish this, Robert?
I haven't.
I only have two,
Dude, I only have one.
dude.
This
Oh
one's
my
Okay.
so
God.
hard, dude. This one's
Can I ask for another minute
You
for
guys can have
Robert?
another minute.
Okay.
okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Just
All right.
remember,
Let's lock in Robert. Let's lock in.
brains, muscle, support
Yes.
slash healer, wild card, and of course you're leading the charge. What what kind of what role is it that you guys are having trouble with? Is there maybe one that you just can't figure it out?
No, it's just like you're saying, like you need to have people that are flexible in their positions
Hmm.
and know how to do multiple things.
All right.
Yeah. I just need one more, which is wild card, which is usually my first one to go.
Oh,
But
wow.
this one I'm having some issues with it.
Yeah,
Um.
you're definitely gonna have to get creative.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um.
All right. So as we head into this, once again, it's the fourth quarter quell. You guys are in that same arena that was in Catching Fire. 12 different zones. According to a clock, each zone has different types of obstacles. And with that being said, Miguel, what's your starting five?
Okay. So my starting five is me. Um. 5'10", 250. Uh. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. My brains is was just like a just in pick right now. It was kind of like a the noon was it the I don't know where I'm going with this. It was my last pick. Is Nick Fury from the Avengers.
Okay,
Um, so he has his combat vet, seen it all. He's never surprised by any situation. Cool as a cucumber. He's also a master at getting intel. Um, so he's always in the loop, able to kind of foresee issues, and just charismatic leader. Not the Avengers, he did it excellent. So that'd be the brains, mostly for the versatility. That he's not opposed to get his hands dirty too.
definitely.
Like in that scene in Winter Soldier, just he had him cornered, they had him there in the car, and he was able to go into the sewage system. Excellent
Great
use of
scene.
resources. Yeah, just just able to always have a follow up plan for everything that kind of comes his way. Muscle, going with Rambo. He literally a one man army. I think is like the last Rambo movie. He literally took out that like entire like village. Able to make something out of nothing. Use his environment to the best of his ability. Really much like a lot of guerrilla warfare. Masters of using weapons, combat. That'd be my muscle. Support, which is the one I'm super excited about, and my out of left field is going to be Shaq, Big Diesel, and he's going to be support. The reason I'm picking him is because a big area about the games is you need sponsors, and who
Hmm.
has more sponsors than Shaq? Uh,
Wow.
so we're going to be getting sponsors in from the General, from Gold Bond, and pretty much
Papa
anything.
John's.
Papa John's, he has his hands in everything, so he has the
Really,
connections.
really
People are
good use
gonna
of a pick.
people are gonna be wanting to support Shaq, and he's a people's champion. Like the donors are gonna be like, that's Shaq. He's funny. He's the
Hmm.
big diesel. Um, and height. So if there's anything in trees we need to get, he's super powerful, super
Just
strong guy.
like a high
Just
coconut, a high banana. All
yeah, like we need to get an advantage. We have him, and like who wants to hurt Shaq? So that'll be my support pick.
right.
Wild card. I'm gonna go with Zorro. Bilingual.
From
Which is from the Mask of Zorro.
okay. I don't know if you're
Antonio.
making a One Piece reference there. I was like, hold on.
Oh
What
no,
else calling? Okay.
I don't know One Piece, but I'm going Antonio Banderas. So Zorro, bilingual, which is always a plus, especially when we're going to be going up against different districts, could be different cultures. Also excellent with the sword. Close combat again, took out a small village by himself. And again, very charismatic. So that's my wild card. I think he can kind of flex in. He's used to being kind of on his own, and I think that kind of expertise, that isolation will kind of help us as a team kind of going forward. So that'd be my team.
Okay.
All right.
So we
Really,
have a very
really good
strong
use of some certain
team.
picks. Yeah, strong team
Mhm.
for sure. All
Ah,
right, Robert. What about you?
all
What's your
right.
starting
So
five?
I think brains. I'm going to just go with Bear Grylls, just so he can give us a better understanding of the layout of the
Mhm.
land, find maybe weaknesses in certain areas and other areas that we might be able to post up and have like some sort of a safety net, so to speak. My muscle, I'm gonna use Aragorn from Lord of the Rings because
That's
he's gonna be
badass.
our close quarter combat
Uh,
specialist. Also, he has a sense in leadership, so he's gonna be in the front lines with us, and if we ever need that close quarter combat.
Mhm.
Support healer
okay.
is a Marvel character, Claire Temple. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with her. She's a
Ooh,
nurse in that comes
think
out in
so.
Daredevil. That comes out in Daredevil
Mhm.
and Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. She's a nurse, so she also has. I believe I want to say she has some. Well, I don't think she has any combat skills, so I don't think she would really work for us as a support
So more like a
character in
healer.
that way. More
Mhm.
of a healer type in case we
Okay.
do get any damages, which we probably will if we're going up against close quarter combat and long range with the bow and arrow. With my wild card, I went with Oliver Queen. I didn't do the
Mm.
Green Arrow specifically, but I mean, I don't know. Is that okay using Oliver Queen?
Let me Google him really quick. I'm not too familiar with him. Is
Because
he from Marvel or
he's
DC?
no, he's the Green Arrow. He's the Green Arrow.
So the Green Arrow.
Yes, is that
Mhm.
okay to use the
So
Green Arrow?
remember
Because
that was actually already going past the cutoff line.
what
So
if
quickly, you got
it's
to come up with something quick now. If now you're
Robin
gonna,
Hood?
all right,
From
I'm gonna
Shrek.
stick with.
still the same vibes. I mean, but still, I guess more a little bit more realistic. But yeah,
ex-
mm,
I'll just go with Robin Hood. Just I would use him the same way
yeah.
as I would Green Arrow. Just need somebody that's good with those long ranged weapons. That's
All
my
right.
top.
I like what you guys are thinking so far. A lot of good picks, and again, this one is a little bit harder because you want specialists, but you also want kind of flex picks because it's such a changing environment, changing scenarios. And with that being said, Miguel, what person are you taking out of his and switching them with?
Would I be able to get your picks again, just so I can make sure that.
So Bear Grylls, Aragorn from Lord of the Rings, Claire Temple as healer, and then Robin Hood.
Okay. I feel like Aragorn's a great pick, so I'm gonna steal that one from you. I'm gonna take it. And instead, also, very you can also get value from picks, so I'm not completely screwing you. It's gonna be Stephen Hawking, as as your
When he
muscle.
Oh,
was in when he was walking or in the chair.
I mean, you can choose, but I feel like
are you
you.
sure you're gonna let him choose, or are you gonna decide for him?
No, I think it's fine because I feel like you have a greater mind when he was in the
Mm,
wheelchair. So, like, if you want
okay.
more, like, less of a mind advantage and more of like a physical, you can definitely go that way. So I'll leave that one up to you. I'm giving you Stephen Hawking.
So which Stephen Hawking are you picking? Younger, not so in his prime brains wise, or in his prime in terms of his physics,
We'll
but
we'll
obviously,
go we'll go prime physics.
all right,
All right, Mikey.
okay.
What were your picks?
My picks for brains was Nick Fury, muscles Rambo, support was the Big Diesel, the Big Aristotle, and then my wild card is Zorro.
I'm gonna replace Shaq
Damn it,
That was a
with
really good pick.
that's
Yeah,
the one I knew you were gonna
that
take
was
away.
that was a really really good
uh,
pick.
I'm gonna switch him out with fuck. Uh Einstein.
With Einstein.
Oh, that's a really strong pick as well. But
However,
okay.
not Einstein from
Baby Einstein.
yeah, the baby Einsteins, bro.
The Einsteins from Night at the Museum, the little bobbleheads.
Yeah, yeah. Does that
All
the
right.
Einstein you're gonna give me or
I'm giving you high school
high
Einstein.
school Einstein? Okay. Acne
Uh,
Einstein.
Yeah.
Still arguing with his teachers, I believe.
Yeah, mom.
All
Okay.
right. Well. that brings us to our fourth and what is going to be our final one because I do have a winner and also we're running a bit short of time, but that way you guys kind of know what I was thinking for my last one. I was going to put you guys in a kind of a alien planet in a ship that kind of went down because two aliens got loose in the ship and you kind of were going to have to survive
Ah,
against them. So that was going to be your final scenario. So I guess
Okay.
for that one, that'll be for our viewers. What would be your guys' out there starting five in that kind of survival situation?
Mm.
But for our current contestants, like I said, I do have a winner, and I guess we'll start off with the first one. So the very first one was given Predator in the Jungle. I went ahead and went with Robert in this one.
Mm.
Now with this one, there was a lot of similar picks, so it was a little bit harder to decide. But I think what actually may have hurt at least Miguel was his outdoor boys pick, because again, he's good for survival, really good. But I feel like other people already could fill that role.
Mm.
So I feel like you're kind of just double dipping instead of really trying to fill all of your weaknesses.
Mm. Mm.
So that's kind of, and I felt that that's Robert kind of acknowledged he was able to kind of fill all kind of those different niches and never really double dip to something that didn't really need that extra oomph to it. Now
Okay.
for our second one, which was our surviving in the Atlanta metropolitan area with some Walking Dead zombies. This one is again where we introduced that little different kind of taking out a person, putting one in. I again went with Robert.
Mm.
So for this one, I immediately taking out Andre 3000 for Lizzo. I felt like that was really one of Miguel's two strong picks. So taking that one off because I do like the way he has a lot of street cred. And I feel like, whoa, that's Andre 3000. It's kind of, hey, we'll give you some food. We'll kind of give you a pass. But you replace him with Lizzo, it's like, well, I don't even know if she's from Atlanta, and I mean, she's not gonna have the same street cred as Andre 3000.
Mm.
So that was honestly that's kind of the major reason why I went with Robert, because again, Miguel's
Yeah.
team,
he's from
he has some,
Detroit.
yeah, yeah, and Miguel has some really weird picks, kind of like Drew Brees and I mean AJ Styles. I mean, yeah, I get where you're going, but I don't know if they're really gonna be the, I guess, optimal for this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And so next in the Mad Max world, I went ahead and again I went with Robert. So it was kind of a
Mm.
clean sweep with the first three. And this one of the main reasons, if Tony Stark stayed, I would have went with Miguel because he made really good points of he was gonna make the most optimal use of whatever was available. But of course, Robert made a good choice of taking him out, which I think really weakened Miguel's team. I mean, still both were really strong teams, but I think Robert's use of Frank Castle and Catwoman. I mean, there was going to be
Mm.
good picks, and Kingpin was really a good pick, but that one got taken out, so it kind
I
of felt
know,
like it
dude.
lowered it a little bit. Yeah, but still, I went ahead and went with Robert because again, that Tony Stark was the real decision maker. And then finally, surviving in the Hunger Games. With this one, I went with Miguel. I think Miguel had a really strong team. This is where I really think Miguel shined, especially with that Shaq pick. It's a shame it got taken out, but I
Yeah.
loved your thought process. It was really smart, really good use of support. I believe you had him as,
Support.
and I mean outside of that, Nick Fury, obviously, I mean him and Nick Fury and Rumble alone, I think is all you really need for that one. So I
Mm.
think that's why I went ahead and gave that one to Miguel. But overall, Robert went ahead and won this today's episode 3-1, and I believe that
Nice.
now puts him at 3. And
Three.
overall, I'm still in the lead at 4. Robert's now getting closer at 3, and Miguel's still kind of trying to reach his way up there, still at 1.
Yeah.
No,
Approaching
no,
from the
maybe.
rear.
Maybe next week, Mickey. Well, you'll get him
Yeah,
next week.
yeah. I think Robert's actually going to be our host, so there is a chance for Miguel to get a point at least.
Yeah. Two-thirds of the time, there's a chance for me, but does it happen? Not really. Uh.
Seems not.
Which
Yeah.
one was the episode that you won? I don't even remember.
I don't remember either.
I don't know.
It was just like a flawed week. Sergio.
I
I
don't
think
remember.
it might have been episode 2.
I,
The survival one?
I think
I have
so.
no idea. I have no idea.
Hmm.
Maybe. You might be right. Who knows? We're gonna have to go back and see.
Hmm.
All right. Well, with that about wraps it up for today's episode. And again, for anybody out there, What would be your starting five if you had to survive against two aliens in a crashed ship in an alien planet? And besides that, thank you for everybody who's out there, and I'll see you guys next week. And Robert leading the charge for that one.
Bye
Yes.
bye.
Bye.